Hey guys, I'm super excited. I got Joanne Bolt with me. I got to meet her at a mastermind earlier this year. Let me introduce her to you. Welcome to the Legend Show. Oh my gosh. Hey, so let me just get both of us on here. There you go. Hey, Joanne Bolt, the Bolt organizer.
Hello, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joanne. So there's kind of there's two sides there. There's an old chapter and a new chapter, I guess. An old covenant and a new covenant. The old Joanne and the new
and
Joanne.
And Joanne like 2.0, right?
Absolutely, because the old Joanne that I knew back in the day, I'm talking back in the day, like last year or the year before, had a team, was the Bolt team. I mean, you're a kind of influencer because we knew you. We knew you on social media. I mean, I don't know you personally, but we worked for the same franchise. And
right.
So tell us that exit and the transition into the new Joanne Bolt and what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. So I used to run what I term the traditional real estate team, right? Like mega agent, couple of admins, agents underneath you. They were either buyer's agents or listing specialists, or they did both. And, I just really found in doing that I had to be a true holder of everything. And the weight of their success was fully on my shoulders, whether it was my fault or not, if they succeeded in real estate. I just really was burdened all the time by the agents, and I loved the agents, don't get me wrong, but I'm a consultant at heart. I love to strategize with you about your business. I like to help pick apart the things that you like to do, don't like to do, give you a direction to take, and watch you grow and flourish. And so I just felt heavy in the old traditional sense of a real estate team. It just wasn't the right fit for me to grow what I wanted to do. And so that was the old real estate team.
And that's almost like being a nurturer, like a mother, right? Because you're a mother, of course, and so forth, and a wife. And so the nurturing is kind of almost second nature to you, right?
It is. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you're grooming your agents for excellence. And that's actually the world that I came from. So, being team leaders, we're team leaders, Joanne. We're constantly looking for talent. We're agent attractors. We love on our agents because that's our company dollar. That's what drives us, and that's what drives production, and that's also part of retention, right? Mm-hmm. Having massive value. So you leave that world behind and you go to a new world, which is eXp.
Yeah. And it is definitely exceptional. I don't know if that was one of his eXp words, but I will say it's exceptional.
and now we have this exceptional growth. So first of all, how did that happen? And then can you tell us like what made you transition from having a team in production, managing that, to like whatever you're doing right now?
Right. So toward the end of 2020, when my actual sales agents on my production team, we sat down and had a meeting, and they were like, Joanne, we weren't prepared for the pandemic. Like, we were not financially secure enough in all of our other streams of revenue, all of our, our savings. They're like, we were living for sale sign to for sale sign to for sale sign. And it broke my heart, because I was like, I have always been taught by my dad, you always have a 401k, you always have stocks, you have rental property, you have passive income. And I realized I hadn't been teaching that to the agents in my group. And so when the pandemic hit, they struggled. And so we as a group kind of sat down and we said, well, where do we want to go from here? And I said, guys, I would rather not teach you just how to do a perfect listing presentation my way, but I would rather teach you how to have a career that you don't, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you keep going in real estate and you don't need me to succeed at that point. And so we started looking around for the right platform to, I call it the if I get hit by the bus platform. And we found it at eXp. We were already living in a virtual world. And instead of being at a broker who was pivoting to catch up to the virtual world, I said, why aren't we at a brokerage that was already there? They were already driving in the virtual world. They'd already figured this out. None of their agents had to shift, pivot, and figure that piece of it out. So why aren't we there? And then when we started looking at the fact that eXp was virtual and the technology was there, Then we started looking at the stock options, the insurance options, the revenue share options, and now I had passive income options for my team.
And healthcare. And
healthcare. Yeah. And so it was like the full rounded package. And I said, I can help you guys better as your team leader if I move you from a traditionally run brokerage into one that's already in the future and setting, records on all their thought process. It's more like a corporate world that I had come out of. Well, and so we made the decision to move.
And well done. It's almost like the pandemic, I believe, for hundreds of millions of people was a crack in the universe. And for those that were not prepared, you almost have to evolve with the times. And so we did. Thankfully for us, in real estate, we don't have to be in the office. We don't have to be in brick and mortar.
And we really shouldn't be, actually.
No, exactly. You really. I remember they said, if you're in the office, you weren't in production. Go out there, do open houses, go door knocking, go drop flyers, do whatever it may be. And that's what I'm trying to, like, eXp isn't the future. eXp is the now.
Correct.
So all you're doing is you're plugging, you're not even catching up. So the agents that have come to eXp have realized, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. Not only that, I could have been doing this years ago. That's kind of because this is my second time around to eXp. The first time I really didn't have a game plan. So it took me about 2 years to exit again, to come back with a game plan. And this time, Joanne, I just took off. I mean, I'm going to see more in revenue share in 6 weeks than I did in 6 years at the previous brokerage. How shocking is that?
All right, so I'm with you there. I actually, when I started talking to eXp about coming over, and Vlad and I were having conversations, he kept trying to talk revenue share to me. And I kind of brushed it off a little bit. I was like, dude, we came from the other brokerage that had the profit sharing. And I was like, and I got sold on the profit sharing. And I had 32 people under me, and I barely made 10 grand a year in profit share. Like, that is enough to make a couple of car payments. It is not enough to sustain my family on.
Right.
And so I just kind of like brushed that piece off. And then I got over here, and I changed my whole structure. I changed my model, and I started attracting agents into the new model now and helping them grow their businesses. And a byproduct of that has been revenue share. I make more on a monthly basis here at eXp in revenue share than I made in a yearly basis at my old place. So now I'm looking at it going, oh, hey, this is a real thing. Like, this works. These numbers they're not fluffy. They're not just an attractor. They're real.
Here's the other thing that I loved, Joanne, is I've studied the wealthy people. I'm talking Rockefellers. I'm talking the Tony Robbins. I'm talking the Robert Kiyosaki's, the Grant Cardones. I've studied them, and I've learned a lot from them. And what I learned from the Gettys and the Rockefellers, that all of them create their wealth from ownership, not from sales or big teams. They owned what their heirs inherited what the Rockefellers and Gettys did. And I remember looking at the number one thing to become wealthy from Rockefeller, and he said ownership. That was number one thing. Ownership. So now, guess what? After years of I haven't been in real estate for a long time. I've been 8 years in real estate. 4 years of them were in leadership. But you can understand my mindset where I'm going. I'm not. I love being sales, but I'm more in the leadership capacity. Is I walked away empty-handed. I didn't own anything. Now I come to eXp, all of a sudden there's ownership. Do you know what I mean, Joanne? And in a sense of, I have stock in the company that I get at a discount. Yep. When I close the deal, I can buy stock at a discount. When an agent joins the eXp, I get stock at a discount. Also have ownership that is something it's almost like a gift. I'm not working. I'm working for it, but I'm leveraged in a sense of eXp is taking care of that for me. I'm not having to have all the minute meetings, submit that to the state and to the IRS and so forth. It's all kind of done for me. All I have to do is just perform. So my results are showing up, right?
You just have to show up and do what you're doing. And Kevin, here's something I learned a long time ago. When I first got into real estate back in 2003, I'm that old in real estate. I built this massive business on referral, right? And I walked away in '07, not because the market crashed, for other reasons, but I honestly thought, oh, I've built this database. There's thousands of people in it. I'm closing 50, 60 deals a year on my own. I'm going to keep making money in referrals. I'm just going to send my friends to, the other agents and get referrals. Well, let me tell you something I learned in real estate. When you stop putting the for sale sign in the yard, the business dries up. And it doesn't necessarily dry up in an instant. Like, yes, my friends were still calling me and I was sending out referrals, but every year they got less and less, because then your friends start realizing you're no longer really in the business. So when I came back in 2014, I had to, I basically had to start all over building the business again, because the first time around I had no ownership. So when I chose to shut my business down, the whole thing stopped and all revenue ended. Now I know better. And that's the other appeal to me of eXp, is the ownership, because I don't need a for sale sign in the yard now. It's going to keep going. Right.
I like that. And I want to kind of add to that, Joanne, is because I heard this from Brian Culhane. Brian said that, he was doing super well, and then he got sick and he was bedridden for like, I think a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like you said, when you're not in business, or when you're not working, you're spending because you're not earning. So all of a sudden, him and his wife, they had this great business, but now he couldn't earn any money. So what happens when you're not earning? You're spending more than you're earning, because now he's in bed, there's medical, there's all this cost, he got into debt and so forth. Now, let's fast forward. If something like that happens to him now, he doesn't have to worry.
Mm-mm.
And you know who Brian Culhane is, right?
I do.
Hawk, a big, huge American guy and larger than life, hanging with Grant Cardone and Glenn Sanford. Awesome guy. That's also our hedge, right? For me and you in leadership, when we're agent attractors and influencers, we'll help them understand that there's support, they're protected. If they intend to do the right thing, we can have exponential vertical growth. Yep. And we can support each other. Because there are going to be those days, Joanne, when you're going to be sick, or you want to take a 2-week vacation. You know what I mean? There's going to be some time when you miss that opportunity for creating some income. However, you've got revenue share, stock options, referral agreements, support to back at the office, and so forth.
All right, so let's use that as a segue to loop around to Joanne 2.0.
Excellent.
My team now isn't your traditional real estate team. I'm leading a network of agents who I have either personally sponsored into eXp, or agents that someone I've sponsored into eXp has sponsored in. So it goes 7 down. I group them all in the new Bolt group. And I am just here to be a catalyst for your business. I will add value however you need me to add value. And if it's not me, I'll bring in the industry expert who can. And the beauty about this is I'm watching you grow your business. I'm partnering with you to help you grow your business. But yeah, if I get sick tomorrow, or I decide to go to London for a month, my team doesn't fall apart because I'm not the rainmaker handing out leads and making sure you know how to do your job.
Right.
All of this can run from anywhere in the world, and it can run with or without me, and that's okay. And the agents will succeed on their own.
Right, so, exactly. You're offering them massive opportunity because you've got multiple avenues of support.
Absolutely.
And you can even be in London and you can still conduct business because your entire operation is set up for you virtually.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to be in the office to show up. You're showing up online. And yep. I remember I took an agent that came in and I said to her, how long does it take you to speak to a broker? Sometimes they don't get back to me. I said, of course they don't. Sometimes they do. Sometimes text messaging, email. You might hear back from them within an hour or maybe 24 hours later, whatever it may be. I said, let me get you in front of a broker right now within 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I went into the virtual. I mean, she was blown away. And she had a 21-year-old daughter with her who just got a license as well. Within 5 minutes, we're talking to a broker. And I said, even though it's in a virtual world, there's a human being on the other side we're having a conversation with.
Yeah, these are not robots. These are not bots. They're actually answering.
She was blown away, Joanne. She was just like, it's not just a no-brainer, but sometimes we have to see the evidence. We want to see the proof. So that was it. Joanne, you're awesome. Joanne, I want to do this again.
Absolutely,
and maybe
would love to.
Maybe we can go more into of how you operate your business.
Sure.
But I think just an introduction to who you were and the transition and all the massive benefits that we have right now is great. You're amazing. Thank you for your time,
Thanks
Joanne
for having
Bolt.
me, Kevin.
And we'll speak very soon again.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Thank you. Cheers.